This is an introduction to academic essays. Today we'll talk about what they are and why they're important. First, you should understand that the only objective of this class is for you to learn to write college-level essays. Therefore, learning what an essay is and how it's constructed will shape everything else you do in class. In other words, tune in. We can describe most of the sorts of writing we encounter in one of two ways: expressive writing and communicative writing. This class is concerned with one form of communicative writing, the essay. Keep in mind that this particular form of writing has rules you must follow. It's also the most common form of writing you'll do in college. Always be sure you know what sort of writing you're being asked to do. The rules for writing a lab report, for example, are much different from those for writing an essay. So, what is an essay? Remember, it's just one type of writing, and it's the one type you'll be learning in this class. The essay is a bit difficult to define because, like most other genres of writing, it has morphed over the years. Today, the essay is ubiquitous as an academic requirement, and it's especially well suited for academic purposes. The essay allows a writer to express his or her opinion in an organized, well-reasoned fashion. Others, perhaps with different points of view on the same topic, can write rebuttal essays. When this is done formally through peer-reviewed journals, it furthers the academic discussion that academics and researchers the world over covet. The best way to solve a problem is to get a lot of minds working on it. But what can we say about what we know about an essay? First, it's nonfiction. This means that you won't be creating stories. This is not a type of creative writing. You're not going to make things up. You'll be drawing on real experience and your real ideas. That's the second point. It's a presentation of your ideas. So if you're wondering whether your opinion has to be in an essay or should be in an essay or should be left out, the answer is a resounding, it absolutely should play the most major role in your essay. Your essay is a presentation of your ideas. Essays typically also are entertaining. This means that even though we do tend to make our essays have serious tones for most academic purposes, there should be some reason for the reader to be entertained, either a unique point of view, a new way of looking at something, a new perspective, or maybe even humor. An essay can use a number of different rhetorical modes. Rhetorical modes are basically types of essays. A very common type is the illustration essay, and this is one where the author makes a point and then supports his point by giving examples. The process essay is one where the writer tells the reader about either a process that has occurred, such as how a particular battle was won or how something was done, how one came to be a student at GMC's online campus, for instance, or it explains how the reader can do something. It's a how-to. We also have narrative essays, and narrative essays, just as you would expect, tell stories, in particular to point out some truth, some idea that the author is encouraging the reader to consider. There's also the argument essay, and this is when the author thinks he knows what's best or what's right or what is the best possible solution to a problem, and he argues in favor of his solution. There are other sorts of essays, such as cause and effect, many others actually. And so you're just going to have to use some judgment about which rhetorical mode to use in which situation. In this class, our essays will not make use of research. In most other college classes, you will research topics for your essays. The reason that we don't do researched essays in this class is because it is an introductory class to essay writing, and documenting sources, citing sources, is another skill that you'll be learning in English 101. Since we don't learn that in English 099, we really just don't let you do the research, because then you would have to learn to document it. The hamburger here, well, not here. The hamburger here represents the structure of a typical essay. Every essay should have an introduction. That's the top bun representing the introduction. And then you'll notice some cheese right underneath the top bun. The cheese needs to be the thesis statement. Thesis statements are non-negotiable. Every essay needs to have one, and we'll be learning how to write those well. And this also represents where the thesis statement typically appears in the essay. It is typically the final sentence of the introductory paragraph. Every essay must also have a number of body paragraphs. This example shows 3 body paragraphs, and this would obviously be an illustration essay because the body paragraphs are giving examples. However, that's a flexible rule. The number of body paragraphs should depend on what the writer has to say and how much space he has to say it, how many support topics he has for his essay. I would advise against writing any essay with fewer than 3 body paragraphs because it's very difficult to fully develop an essay as you should in under 3 paragraphs. So I would consider 3 to be the minimum. And for this class, for the purposes of this class, you should probably strive to make your body between 3 and 6 paragraphs, with the average being around 3 or 4. Finally, every essay has a conclusion, and the bottom bun represents the conclusion. Also, you need to know that many of the things that you learn about essay writing in this class, although they are good, firm, reliable guidelines, are exactly that. They are guidelines. So if ever a teacher asks you to do a different sort of writing or asks you to construct an essay in a bit different way than this, go with what your teacher says.